the end zone! Touchdown Bulldogs!
The Dogs win the GLIAC tournament title.
Well, that's how you get it started right there.
I want to give the teams and athletes the freedom to be creative.
I think that's something we rally around as a team. We're out there no matter what the weather is.
We just do a good job of eating it up and using it to our advantage no matter what.
I got a lot of pride in being a Bulldog. I think it's awesome.
You're listening to Behind the Bulldogs, brought to you by Ferris State Athletics.
It is Behind the Bulldogs, Season 4, Episode 3. We got a good one for you folks. It's going to be a great time. It's me, Joseph Nagy, along with Brandon Worth, here just having a good time, and we're going to have a good episode for you. Chelsie Freeman and Olivia Henneman-Dallape are coming into the studio for an interview. We also got a whole lot more to discuss, preview, review, whatever it may be about Ferris State Athletics. It's your one-stop shop here at Behind the Bulldogs. How's it going, Brandon?
I'm still here. And yes, that was an impeccable intro. I don't know where to say from there. It was so good. But
we probably should just end the episode.
Yeah, you think so?
No. Just put the interview on and we'll get out of here.
Yeah, probably. But we got a great show for you, as Joe mentioned. A lot to recap as well as to preview for this upcoming weekend. And I think, Joe, we might as well get right into it, brother.
Yeah, let's do it, man. What do you want to start with? We got hockey, football, volleyball. Stop me where you're going to go, man.
That's so much. Let's start off with the elephant in the room. And that was an absolute drub fest on homecoming for Ferris State football.
Dude.
78-3.
Absolute murder.
78-3, the final score in this football game. It was 55-3 at halftime, and we were able to get a lot of guys in, which is the positive across the board, one of many positives. I think the bottom line is everybody got to play. Everybody played well, and we got a W in the column.
Yeah,
what else can you ask for?
You really can't beat it. And I mean, I couldn't watch the game because I don't have Flow Sports, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't feel like paying for it. So if they want to give me a free subscription, they can.
Oh.
But right off rip, when you see 27-0, you know that that's going to be pretty much a throttle from start to finish. I think we probably could have seen a 100-burger being dropped here, but obviously got to put the other guys in. But I mean, we still played well when it was the four stringers in as well. So that's what you like to see. Trinidad Chambliss as well, getting the
GLIAC Offensive Player of the Week.
So
yes, congrats
that was
to Trinidad.
Huge. Love to see the recognition. But yeah, what else can you say other than just 78-3 total domination from start to finish?
Domination, indeed. And I mean, we held Northern Michigan 1 of 15 on third down, 0 for 3 on fourth down. That's elite. 705 yards of total offense. That's an upset.
98. Didn't even cross the triple-digit threshold.
Yes. The thing, though, we have to.
What's that?
Start cutting it down on penalties. We have been committing a lot of penalties. We had 15 in this game. Obviously, it didn't matter in the span of the outcome. But looking forward...
So 160 yards.
Yeah, we need to cut down the penalties. That's really the only negative that you could take away from this game.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting. Saginaw coming up this weekend. They're going to put us to the test with turnovers and penalties.
Yeah,
so.
Saginaw, by the time we're recording this, I think it's Wednesday? But... when you're listening to this, I think the game is already going on.
It is going on right now as you're hearing
not
this.
At Top Taggart, what are you doing? But that one's going to be a real tough game. Saginaw's been quite the foe for the past 2 years, almost doing the upset both times. So we'll see how this one pans out. But I think that's good for football. 78-3, total domination from start to finish. We'll go into... what's
volleyball,
next?
of course.
Volleyball, of course. Volleyball.
Yeah. So got dealt the triple header. How the GLIAC scheduled this, not sure. Northern Michigan on Friday, dub.
Easy.
Michigan Tech on Saturday,
Easy.
dub. And Lake State on Sunday.
Easy.
Dub.
3-0 all the way. 9-0 on the weekend.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at how dominant this team has been, and obviously we'll get to talk to Chelsie and Olivia about that here in just a minute. I mean, when you look at it from just a standpoint of you have to travel up to the UP. You have to battle the elements on the road. And, I mean, they played as good as you could ever ask a team to play on the road. And for them, they know that they had things to clean up. I mean, we were talking to them off there, and they said, yeah, we can be a better team than we showed this weekend. And you're looking, I'm like, well, where? They were great. I mean, hitting efficiency over 300 total on the weekend. I mean, you don't see that many errors. Northern Michigan, you were able to get 13 service aces, a season high. I mean, that's a phenomenal feat for them. And I mean, just overall the efficiency, just being able to battle, be able to just get on top, 9 straight sets to nothing. I mean, that is a statement if I haven't seen one.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. I mean, out of the 9 sets that they played this weekend, 7 of them, they held their opponents under 20 points. So
wow.
That's pretty solid. I'm no volleyball guy myself.
Pretty solid. Yeah, that's pretty good, Joe.
From what I know, that's pretty dang solid.
Yeah, it is a lot. I think solid might be too soft of a word. It's pretty good.
That's primo. Some say premier.
Yes, that is one would say. We'll talk about the Premier Tournament as well with them on the interview. Anyway, We're off the rails again. Soccer was in action as well over the weekend, a doubleheader for the women's team. Hey, we got back a dub against Purdue Northwest, 2-0, and then Sunday at Parkside to a 0-0 draw there on the pitch in Kenosha. But able to get into the scoring sheet. That's something that we've definitely shown all season, but not giving up more has been the difficult part. And this weekend, especially, they did that really well. The defense clamped down in a must-need win to get us back on track and momentum as we go back here into the second half, because they're going to play Purdue Northwest and Parkside at home this upcoming week next. They got Saginaw Valley on Friday as you're listening to this. But, those are really two big wins, and those were must-gets just to be able to get this thing back on track and get it rolling again.
Yeah, this is huge. I mean, even though it's a 0-0 tie, you wish it would be a win. But when you're able to have a defense really step up, have the first shutout in 4 games, that's a pretty solid thing to look back on, because that just kind of gives you a little bit more confidence, especially to shut out the weekend, to come into a really tough team, especially with Saginaw Valley on Friday. That was yesterday, so you can check out the website for the results of that one, but especially with Wisconsin-Parkside and Purdue Northwest too. That's going to be a little tough, if I say so myself.
Little tough with 2 F's, you know.
T-U-F-F tough.
Yeah, real tough, dog tough. But we can be dog tough. We can overcome those things upcoming here this weekend. We'll get into all the Ferris State athletics coming up this weekend, and those previews after the interview, as well as you can check those out at ferrisstatebulldogs.com. Finishing off here before we get into the interview here for the recap, we had golf also in action from a little bit this last week. Shout out for the second place finish to men's golf at UIndy. They did fantastic, as well as the ladies finishing third at the Lady Bulldog. You might know we talked a little about that last week, as well as cross country wrapping up from Louisville, and especially a lot of people asked me about how this meet went. It went great. Individually, for me, wasn't the best race. I took a chance. I went for it, and that's something that I was looking forward to trying to do at this course one more time. Came up a little short halfway through. Nothing necessarily that I didn't necessarily see coming, but it was just something I wanted to try, and I wanted to take a chance on it to see if I could run a potential record-breaking time. Didn't end up doing it. It's okay. But I think at the end of the day, when we looked at how their teams fought, it was hot and it was humid down there. 75 and 75 each with temp and humidity at race time. So it was brutal. But being able to out-grit a lot of these good teams that we were able to beat in that blue race on the men's and women's side was a huge confidence boost. Huge confidence boost for this team. Both teams have shown their depth, especially from top to bottom, 1 through 7. And I think that really just made a statement this weekend. I mean, I believe the men's side, we double-checked. We had the shortest spread, meaning from where your top guy finishes number 1 to top guy number 5, and even your top necessarily reserve guy number 7. We had the shortest spread. They had the closest, and which is huge when it comes to postseason. Being able to bring in your guys one by one is huge. So you're not necessarily as top heavy. That just shows you how great our depth was. There was 48 teams in this race, and we had the best spread. So that's pretty good. The girls also had a very good spread on their side as well, and they showed out, especially there at Louisville. So we're going to hopefully put it back to it here at Lewis this upcoming weekend. We'll get into more of that after the interview, Joe. Which, speaking of which,
thumbs up on that one.
I mean, we got an absolute banger.
Yeah, we do.
And I mean, no other things to say. I mean, they were great, and we can't wait to give it to you guys.
Yeah. So without further ado, let's swing it to the interview.
Now joining us here in studio, a pair of Ferris State volleyball players stopped by. Olivia Henneman-Dallape, Chelsie Freeman, both welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for so much for coming on the show, making time out of your busy schedules. Really like to see it. Really appreciate it. First question, having the chance to go out to Colorado for that Premier Invitational, just kind of talk us through what that was like, having that experience about playing those really top teams in the nation, as well as being able to go out west and have a good time.
Yeah, it was a super cool experience. Everyone that's in that tournament is a top 25 team. So it was good for us to get out there and compete against some really good teams and just be able to learn more about ourselves as a team early on in the season and take some few things from teams that we can steal and use in our gym.
Yeah, I think that it was a pretty good team bonding experience, being able to travel and experience new places, like coming from high school to college. Not everyone gets to fly, so you get to experience things as a team and also to take things from other players that are really good and add it to our gym to make it better.
Absolutely. And for both of you, the journey to Ferris State was a little bit different. Olivia, you've been here since you were recruiting signee. Chelsie joining us a little halfway through. But for both of your journeys to Ferris State, I guess we'll start with you, Olivia. What originally drew you to Ferris State volleyball and playing here in McRapids?
I would have been the community and family feeling. Just coming here, I kind of knew immediately that it was my home. I had went on other visits and just was it kept pulling me back here. These girls made me feel like this was my home, and it was just a really good bonding experience.
Yeah, for me, it was a little different coming out of the transfer portal, but I would say what drew me here was definitely just the respect the program has and the team culture. We're very culture based, and that was something I was looking for, and so that's what initially got me here.
What's been the biggest change for you? Because especially coming from Angelo State in Texas, what was that change going from West Texas to now being in Middle Michigan?
Well, I transferred here in the spring semester, so I came in January. So I literally moved in during a snowstorm, which was
gosh,
yeah, that was that's definitely different. Just the weather, and it's also way prettier here. You experience all 4 seasons, as in West Texas, you don't experience that.
Yeah, for sure. And especially, last year, if you go back to it, the team was mostly underclassmen. So the experience wasn't necessarily there, but still, GLIAC champions didn't really matter. For you guys this year, what's kind of been on the table for you now that you got a little bit more experience under your belt, kind of getting ready to go into postseason? I know, though, that Coach T is a big proprietor of one game at a time, but still going kind of into those next few games and especially looking at postseason, what's kind of been on the mind of the team?
I think that we just work on helping each other get better and playing for the girl next to you. So doing more reps to help the girl be better at serve receive or be able to hit different shots. I think more now it's just helping each other more than building skill, because we all know we have the skill. It's just putting it all together now and helping each other and making each other better to make the team better.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Last year, it was kind of just for a lot of us finding our feet and getting the experience and learning new things. And now that we have that under our belts, we're able to go out there and compete as a team and for each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and especially I think a lot of fans would probably attest to this when it comes to the game day environment. I don't know if there's one that competes with Bulldog Arena and obviously the Bops that are playing in that arena. What is it like for you guys, especially through that process of, are you guys making the picks in for the music, or is there going to be specific ones that you want to have go to, even the pregame? What's the vibes with the team in the locker room before that first serve?
Yeah, we pick our music for the locker room for sure. We have traditions where we listen to the Riff Off, and Cuff It is definitely one of our songs. During the game, we do have that new cool DJ, loving it. He's playing a lot of Rihanna.
Oh man, he loves it.
Yeah, he definitely gets me going. But yeah, we take a lot of time before the game, just getting our game day by dancing and singing, and we do a lot of cool things like that.
Yeah, is there a certain song that it's always the go-to? If they're in your pregame list, you're yeah, I got to play this before I leave the locker room. It has to be played.
Yeah, we do have a lot as a team. For me specifically, I'm I have to hear Shots before I come.
Oh, okay. Yeah, vibes are up. All right.
Yeah. That one is played every time.
Yeah.
And Cuff It, and Vamos a la Playa, and the Riff Off.
All right, those are the 4. You can be with Ferris State volleyball in spirit. You just got to play those 4 songs before you get into the arena on Saturdays.
In the queue every time is what it is. So especially for this weekend, you got coming up with Davenport and Saginaw Valley coming to town. 2 good teams. What's it like now kind of getting back, especially after you had that little road trip last week, the big one with the Northern Michigan Tech and Lake Superior State, kind of getting into that a little bit of a change from on the road to just being at home?
Yeah, I think we're all really excited to play at home because it's kind of been a minute, and we haven't been able to play at home a lot since we started our season. I think that we're just focusing on what we can tidy up from the last time we played Davenport, which was just 2 weeks ago. So just going in the gym this week, staying healthy, working on things that work against them.
Yeah, it's a quick turnaround from last weekend, especially when we were on the road. But I just think we've had 3 games since we last played them, so picking up on what we could do better in those games and learning from that and using it this weekend.
Yeah, when it comes to prep especially, for volleyball, you guys have obviously access to film for every single match and every single point of every single set. But what are some of those key things that you guys do, especially in preparation and practice each and every week, that get you ready that maybe not necessarily some other teams do and might be not necessarily something they even think about doing?
We're a big scouting team. you're talking, Chelsie is the biggest like video watcher about all of us on the team. She's always watching film. So
Okay.
I don't think that everyone is as dedicated as that as maybe other teams, but Chelsie definitely does. But we're a big scout team. We really focus on being strategic, and that's usually how we win. So I would say that's our big thing.
Yeah, even like as players, I don't think we always realize we're like working on scouting stuff because we implement it throughout the week before we actually like get to the scout practice, but we're always just implementing things other teams are doing. So by the time that comes, like we need to do it, we like already are ready.
All right. What's the over-under on hours of film watch per week, especially for you, Chelsie? As you're the number one, it appears now, I'm watching film.
I don't know. I do watch film a lot. I rewatch all of our games, and then I like watch a previous game from the teams we're about to play every weekend. So give or take, if I break it down, how long it takes.
Like 2 hours?
Yeah, probably like 2
yeah.
to 3 hours in total.
Wow, that's impressive. I would watch film, but watching other people run, it's pretty boring. So,
student of the game, there and there out. But you got the Hammond crossover, the Midwest region crossover coming up. We talked about road trips already, but what's kind of stuff that you have to do on the road trips that get you ready to be able to be in the bus or be on the plane or something like that for an extended period of time?
Honestly, we take the road trips. We do a lot of team time on there. Like when we were coming home from Tech, we played, what was that game?
It was like charades.
Charades.
It wasn't charades, but it was like charades.
Some sort of a knockoff version kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah, so we do a lot of things like that. I would say like prepping, just making sure that we're like where our feet are and we're not thinking about outside distractions and just like focused on that game and not the game ahead of it, even though it might be cool, but just like who we play in that moment.
Yeah, and we're really good as a team of like making sure like everyone has everything, like specific individuals on the team are like in charge of like sending out a packing list or choosing jerseys. So we're all like always really prepared and like make sure we have everything and our minds are straight so we're not distracted about how we forgot our shoes or something like that.
Yeah. Is that kind of a feel thing where you're choosing the jersey for the weekend, or is that more of just like a random spur of the moment thing?
Yeah, Ivy is in charge of it. She picks all of our clothing, our jerseys. She's like our little mom that dresses us up every day.
Yeah. Also depends on like traveling or way home, whatever. Because like you can't wear certain colors at certain places.
Yeah, all those NCAA rules that nobody even knows about, but they still exist. Yeah, for sure. But especially for both of you, quite the bit of athletes outside of just the volleyball court. Olivia, I remember I read in looking at game notes that you were actually an all-conference basketball player, so you can hoop it up a little bit on the side as well?
Yeah, maybe sometimes. I like to play pig.
Okay, pig a lot? What's the go-to shot in pig?
Definitely. I like to shoot three-pointers. Not the best at them, but definitely my go-to shot.
Make it rain.
Make it rain. Steph Curry style, yeah. For you, Chelsie, obviously wasn't able to get some of the bio from you, but what other sports did you play outside and what made you end up choosing volleyball?
I actually ran track throughout middle school and high school too, and I did really like it, but I didn't like it enough to do it for 4 more years. But yeah, ultimately, like volleyball was kind of always my go-to. I played competitive soccer up until high school too, but that's when I chose volleyball over soccer, and that was just my go-to thing ever since. For sure, yeah. We'll pivot back to you, Olivia, to answer that question. What made you choose volleyball?
I started volleyball my freshman year of high school, so it was super new to me. So it was kind of like I was learning everything, and it was just like, oh my goodness, like I keep wanting to learn more kind of thing. And then I didn't really think I was going to play volleyball in college. Thought I was going to do basketball, but then I just fell in love with it, and it was just like became everything. So
yeah, very cool. That. If Coach Westendorp's listening, oh boy, he might be looking out.
Will we see you at the IM course, kind of trying to win a basketball championship here once the season's over? Or?
Maybe my 5th year that spring. Maybe that spring.
We try to rock it out. But we thank you guys so much for coming on. Just to wrap up the rest of the show, the last question we ask everybody is, what's your favorite thing about being a Ferris State Bulldog?
I'm going to say the community and the support that everyone gives.
Yeah, I would kind of second that. Just like the unwavering support we always have as athletes, like from our professors and the communities, like people just understanding like what we're doing and recognize that.
Yeah, that's a pretty reoccurring one, that the community is a big thing here for Big Rapids and Ferris State.
Absolutely, it always is. Well, thank you so much, Olivia, Chelsie, for joining us here on the show, and we wish you the good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
once again, huge thanks to Chelsie and Olivia for coming on the show. Always appreciate our guest and giving us a little bit of an insight on what it's like to be a student athlete at Ferris State. But we wish them the best of luck this upcoming weekend with their games. So let's keep going with the show, Brando.
Absolutely. Let's get into the rundown here. The Ferris State Sports Slate as it has been tabbed. Bulldogs scoreboard.
Let's get into it.
Women's soccer starting on October 6th, which that will upcoming be Saturday. Almost said Friday for a second. No, see, I was right. It was Friday. I was right. Okay.
Yeah, good job,
I think
man.
I was crazy here for a second. Anyway, also volleyball will be in action at home. 6 o'clock start time for volleyball, 2 o'clock start time for soccer. So you can catch both, Joe. You can go to both games.
Header.
Yeah, and maybe there's some sort of a ticket discount too. I'm not sure, but that'd be pretty cool if there was. Anyway, October 7th, that is Saturday. Lewis crossover from my own team as well as the women's cross country team will be over there in Romeoville, biggest D2 meet of the year. Shout out, going to be a fun one. As well as football over there at Top Taggart Field against Saginaw Valley State. Blackout. Wear your black t-shirts, all of your Bulldog gear. We're going to rock the top one more time, Joe.
It's going to be sick.
It's going to be epic there. You almost went into space mode for a second.
I covered up my mic with my hands.
It looks like you're doing some sort of a nifty little maneuver.
Like Vader.
Darth helmet, maybe. Anyway.
But guess what else is coming this weekend, Brandon?
You know what? How about more women's volleyball? Why not? You know?
Yeah.
Saturday, 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Back here against Saginaw Valley State. Going again. They got a 3-0 sweep against them last time. We'll see if they can do it again. And the big one, folks. The one you've been waiting for. Hockey is back.
Hockey is back.
Saturday.
Get ready for it. Get your coats or whatever. It's cold in Gleben. Get ready because they're playing Miami of Ohio. The Red Hawks are coming into town, and it's going to be a slaughter, ladies and gentlemen. If you put a Bulldog up against a Red Hawk, I take Bulldog every time. Get ready. It's going to be a good one. Saturday and Sunday, weekend slate. What better way to spend your weekend than a hockey game?
I don't think there's much better.
There is
How about
not.
with a football game and a volleyball game and a soccer game all in one weekend?
That's true. And I've heard that the pregame looks a little bit cooler this year. It's going to be sick. You
Video
don't wanna
boards?
miss out.
Cold Sparks?
What?
I mean, we had Josh on the episode last. You can listen back and we see what he was talking about. But
Word
there's
on
going
the
to be some fun
street
stuff.
word on the street is going to be cool.
Is that so?
Yeah.
Interesting. Maybe I'll have to show up once. I'll take a private jet back from Lewis once we're done and bring it back. But
It's chump change for you, Brandon.
yeah, I mean, rumor has it somebody's going to be on the headset on the Sunday games, so we'll find out. Anyway, hockey Saturday 7:07. Be there over at Gleben as well if you can't make it, or if you're just a super fan, which we love to see those. Sunday as well 5:07 puck drop there against Miami of Ohio, and finishing out golf will also be in action over at St. Albans over in Missouri for the Fall Midwest Regional Classic over there coming up for Sunday and Monday there for men's golf. So it should be a fun weekend of Bulldog sports all the way around, Joe.
Yeah. It's going to be great. And if you don't go, what are you doing? We can't.
I don't know.
If you don't go, what are you, actually, what are you doing? You got to have nothing going on.
I don't know.
And if you have nothing going on, then why don't you show up?
I don't know.
I'm going to be there. Brandon's going to be there for some.
As many as I can, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be there Sunday, though.
Yes,
I'll probably be at the Sunday game or the Saturday game or whatever it might be. I'll probably be at the tailgate so you can find me.
Whoa.
Saturday. Whoa. It's going to be a good time regardless.
It's going to be a good time. Thank you all for tuning into the Behind the Bulldogs. Episode 3 is in the books. Episode 4 is on deck. If you missed out on any episodes, hit us up over on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, wherever you get these podcasts.
I've heard, Brandon, that we have arguably the best guests ever coming next week.
Uh-oh. Don't let the cat out of the bag.
I'm not. I'm just giving a little teaser trailer here.
Oh, yeah. If you love football, basketball, you love broadcasting, you will be tuned for a good one.
All I can say is touchdowns Bulldogs.
Whoa. Okay. We got to end the... Stop.
Whoa.
We got to end it right here.
Cut the cameras.
Cut the cameras.
Cut the cameras.
Till next time.
Take care, everybody.